So another common question is, what's the status of the envelope I've sent out to my customer with Docusign? Has the customer signed everything he needs to? Has Palmetto accepted everything? What's going on here? And so the nice thing about Docusign with Salesforce is it's really very transparent for everyone involved. So if you scroll down to the bottom of the opportunity page, there is a section called Docusign Status that's going to show every envelope that's been sent out for a particular customer and the status of all those envelopes. So in this situation, you can probably see why I'm more specific about what I want to see in the subject line. If all of these were to say documents for your Docusign signature, it makes it much more difficult to really review and track what has and hasn't been signed by the customer. And you'd really have to go into each one individually just to figure that out. By adding just a little bit of clarifying detail in the subject line, it makes it much easier to see what's going on. So with the envelope status, it's really a binary system here. You're going to see it's either sent or completed. So completed means that all the signing parties have finished what they needed to do, and sent just means that it's in some sort of way still waiting on someone to complete their action. So we'll look at a couple different possibilities there. So the first possibility is that you actually sent the document off to the customer, and they may have actually received it. So if you scroll down to the bottom of the envelope status here, you can see the recipient status, all the people involved that will end up signing this document, and the status for each one of them. So in this case, it looks like the customer did actually receive the document. The delivered status means that they saw the email, actually opened the email, but didn't finish signing. So probably cause for getting back in touch with this customer, just making sure they realize they haven't finished it and answering any questions they might have. But this delivered status does mean they've seen and opened that email, but haven't completed what they needed to yet. So another possibility in the status is that the customer just never opened the email to begin with. So if it's still stuck in this sent status, it means it was sent off to the customer. It may be the wrong email address, or they may have had it go to their spam folder. They never actually saw or opened that email. So another reason to reach out to the customer if it's been a day or two and they haven't even opened it. The best case scenario is we see that it is completed. In that instance, we should be able to come in here and see each party has in fact completed their portion, and the final documents are all loaded up here that we could actually view the completed version. The last case is it's somewhere in between. So in this case, it looks like document went out to the customer. The customer actually completed what they needed to do. So if we were dealing with an installation agreement right around the time of cutoff for payroll, this would be a pretty important thing to realize here, is that the customer did in fact sign. We're just waiting for Palmetto to countersign in this case. So that's a good sign. That's good news. Our customer has actually signed this document. So if you're coming down to the wire on customers around payroll time, this is a good way to check to see if the customer has actually completed the document, even if it's showing up still in that sent file. So another thing we can do here, if it is still pending a counter signature, or maybe the customer hasn't even signed it yet, we can actually go back in and view this document in Docusign. And this will show us sort of where we are in the status thus far. If I close this out, though, it'll bring us back to our sort of standard Docusign home landing page. By clicking on the Documents tab, we should be able to find the agreement that still may be pending a signature. And if we click on that here, this will give us the ability to resend that directly to the customer. Or if we notice that, hey, maybe the email address is not correct, there's a typo in there, we can always correct this as well. So if we do need to do that, we can jump in here. That lets us put out any changes that we need to and get this moving forward again for our customer.